1940. Kenya. On the red soil of East Africa, a girl was born. Her name was Wangari Maathai. A daughter of the Kikuyu people, born in Ihitha village, Nyeri district. Childhood in rural Kenya, under British colonial rule. This was an era when girls were told they didn't need to go to school. But her family thought differently. Her brother spoke up. Wangari should go to school too. Her mother nodded. That small decision changed the destiny of one young girl. Young Wangari grew up surrounded by the lush nature of her village. A forest where fresh springs flowed, fig trees flourished, and animals roamed free. That original landscape was etched deep into her heart. Then, in 1960, a turning point arrived. The Kennedy Airlift, a historic scholarship program led by Tom Mboya and John F. Kennedy that sent African students to universities across the United States. Wangari was chosen. At 20 years old, she left her homeland for the very first time. After studying biology in Kansas, she went on to the University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. And there, a question began to take hold within her. Why is Africa's natural world falling apart? What colonial rule had taken was not just land. Trees had been felled, rivers had run dry, the earth had been ravaged. That question became the defining theme of her life. In 1966, having earned her master's degree in America, she returned to Kenya. She pursued a path of research and education, and in 1971, she earned her doctorate from the University of Nairobi. It was a groundbreaking achievement for its time. She became one of the first women in the East African region to earn a doctoral degree. But what she saw around her was devastation. Forests had vanished. Rivers had dried up. Women were walking for hours just to gather firewood. In 1977, she made her decision. Let's plant a tree. The Greenbelt movement was born. She distributed seedlings to rural women and taught them how to plant. The compensation was modest, but the women moved. How does planting trees become the empowerment of women? Wangari answered it this way. When women plant trees, they realize something, that they have power. The seedlings were not merely trees. The act of sowing, watering, and nurturing gave women confidence. It made them believe they could change their environment with their own hands. And that chain reaction spread across all of Kenya. But power did not look away. President Moi's authoritarian regime saw the Greenbelt movement as a threat. Protecting the environment became an act of speaking about democracy. Planting trees became an act of resistance against the government. The pressure grew stronger with every passing year. 1989. A plan emerged to construct a high-rise building in Uhuru Park, the green lung of Nairobi. It was a project championed by President Moi himself. Wangari opposed it. Alone, she raised her voice. The movement was met with ridicule and slander. But opposition spread internationally, and the plan collapsed. It was the moment a single tree defeated power. Even so, the repression continued. During protests, she was reportedly detained multiple times and subjected to violence. Wangari fell again and again, but she kept rising. Whether her hands ever trembled, history does not record. But not once did she stop the work of planting. The government moved to clear indigenous forests. Wangari and her allies sat down together inside the forest. Police arrived, carrying batons. Stand down. They did not move. Against the development pressure on the Karura forest, the civic movement strengthened the momentum for conservation. Planting trees was a fight for democracy. Over decades of work, the Greenbelt movement achieved the planting of more than 50 million trees. It halted Kenya's desertification, revived rivers, and gave women both work and dignity. That experience influenced international tree planting campaigns, including those of the United Nations, and she herself expanded her work onto the global stage. A single seedling changed a continent. But her fight was far from over. In 2002, change came to Kenya. The Moi dictatorship that had held power for 24 years came to an end, and democratic elections were held. Wangari Maathai ran for a seat in parliament. She won with overwhelming support. and she was appointed Assistant Minister for Environment and Natural Resources. The woman who had planted trees now stood in a position to move a nation. October 8, 2004. The Norwegian Nobel Committee made its announcement. This year's Peace Prize goes to Wangari Maathai. She became the first African woman ever to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Committee recognized her contribution as the advancement of sustainable development, democracy, and peace. Environmental protection, democracy, and peace were bound together as one. That insight was recognized by the world. In her acceptance speech, she said, "Peace comes from a healthy environment. Where the environment is destroyed, conflict follows. Planting trees was an act of preventing war." Those words moved the world's audience into quiet reflection. In 2005, she visited Japan. There, she encountered a single word: mottainai. Don't waste what can still be used. Repair and reuse. Use with gratitude. Wangari was deeply moved by this word. This is a concept the world needs. Inspired by her visit to Japan, she embraced the concept of mottainai and worked with Japanese partners to spread it internationally. One Kenyan woman carried a Japanese spirit to the world. The spirit of the Greenbelt movement eventually spread across the globe. The United Nations Environment Program launched the Billion Tree Campaign. The goal: 1 billion trees planted around the world. Behind its experience and spirit stood one woman from rural Kenya. A movement that began with a single tree had grown to planetary scale. September 25, 2011. Wangari Maathai quietly left this world. She was 71 years old. The cause of death was announced as ovarian cancer. But by then, more than 50 million trees had taken root in the earth. It was what she had left behind: a woman who had resisted desertification, fought dictatorship, and risen from a rural village. She once said, "I'm simply planting small trees, but they will become a forest." The seeds she sowed are growing larger still, at the very front lines of today's fight against climate change. Kenya now has a national goal of planting 15 billion trees. And its spiritual foundation remains Wangari. Today, tree planting is judged not just by numbers, but by where, what, and how to nurture while preserving what matters. Only when the use of native species and long-term stewardship are included does a forest truly remain for the future. She was the first to demonstrate that answer through practice. What does the story of Wangari Maathai reveal? Planting trees became an act of resistance against a dictatorship. Protecting the environment nurtured democracy. One woman from a rural village found her way to the Nobel Peace Prize. She proved it. Transformation does not need to begin in a great place. It can begin with a single tree, a single seed, a single woman. Now, here's the question for you. Change is not something you begin once the conditions are perfect. The first tree Wangari planted was planted alone, in poverty, under repression, one tree at a time. What is something you could begin today, right where you are? And if someone told you, you can't do this, how would you answer? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Here on Blueprint of Giants, we follow the decisions and strategies of those who changed the course of history, people like Wangari Maathai. Environmentalists, entrepreneurs, scientists, revolutionaries. We dig up the blueprints of what they thought and how they moved. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Until next time.